As you might remember, earlier we touched on the query language SQL. In this video, you'll see SQL in action and learn what you can do with it, with some examples of specific queries. I guess you can call this the SQL sequel. We'll try to make this one even better than the original. Remember, SQL can do lots of the same things with data that spreadsheets can do. You can use it to store, organize, and analyze your data, among other things. But like any good SQL, it's on a larger scale, bigger, more action-packed. Think of it as supersized spreadsheets. For example, you might want to consider a spreadsheet when you have a smaller data set, such as one with just 100 rows. But if your data set seems to go on forever, and your spreadsheet is struggling to keep up, SQL would be the way to go. When you use SQL, you'll need a place where the SQL language is understood. If you've ever gone somewhere and not known the language, it can be challenging to communicate. You might think you're asking for one thing and get something completely different. Well, SQL knows the feeling. SQL needs a database that will understand its language. So let's talk. There are a number of databases out there that use SQL. You may use several of them during your time as a data analyst. But here's the thing. No matter which database you use, SQL basically works for the same in each. For example, in SQL, queries are universal. We've talked about queries before, but it never hurts to have a refresher. A query is a request for data or information from a database. Here's the structure of a basic query. You can see that with this query, we can select specific data from a table. By adding where, we can filter the data based on certain conditions. All right, let's get started. We'll open our database and see how SQL can communicate with it to do some simple data tasks. First, let's select our data set. We'll use an asterisk to select all of the data from the table. And with that simple query, the database calls up the table we need. Magic. Let's add where to our query to show how that changes what data we get. You can see the data now only shows movies that are in the action genre. And that's it. A basic query in SQL. Pretty cool, huh? Soon, you'll learn about building more complex queries. For now, though, we can celebrate learning about the structure of a basic SQL query. Select, from, and where. As you continue the program, you'll have the opportunity to use SQL yourself. So I hope this video was a useful sneak peek at what's coming later.